Parkside Cabin Rentals, affordable rustic luxury in the Smokies. Chalets and log cabins, from intimate to grand. In town or in total seclusion, we can fit any need you have. Visit ParksideCabinRentals.com. Plan your vacation today.
Southeast Termite and Pest Control can help protect your home from animals, trapping and relocating wildlife, fixing the damage they cause, and preventing them from invading your home in the first place. Call Southeast Termite and Pest Control and ask about our many services.
The following is a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.
Let's talk Tennessee football. This is the Sports Source Kickoff, presented by Parkside Cabin Rentals. Now, your host, John Pennington.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome in. It's always tough for me to say Saturday morning because we're used to saying good Sunday morning for 16 years. But this is year 3 of saying good Saturday morning, good game day morning to you. Here on the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Parkside Cabin Rentals, we have a full show. We got a lot to cover. A lot of news this week with Tennessee and a huge ball game tonight, Tennessee versus South Carolina. Let's get right into this thing. First segment brought to you by, of course, Parkside Cabin Rentals. Check out their website because they offer it all, folks, from cozy cabins to cabins big enough for corporate retreats. Mountain views, hot tubs, fireplaces, and if you want entertainment, they've got HD TVs, pool tables, and more. Plus, you get free parking in downtown Gatlinburg when you go visit the Gatlinburg area. Parkside Cabin Rentals, you cannot beat it if you're heading to the Gatlinburg area and the Smoky Mountains. Parkside Cabin Rentals. Can't beat these guys either. Always happy to have this trio of analysts. Josh Ward from WNML, Jimmy Himes from WNML, and right down there, Ryan Callahan from GoVols247.com. I appreciate all of you for being here this morning. Want to cover the big news quickly right off the bat. We could spend 20 minutes talking about what Tennessee will do about this. But late in the week, it was determined that the blood clots had returned for Trey Smith. You're talking about, and first of all, we're going to talk about it from a football sense, but I know everyone here and everyone out there at home wishes the young man well because all you hear is what a good kid he is. Terrible situation, so he's out indefinitely. But from a football standpoint, I said there's 1,000 things they could do. Which way do they go? Because you could either move somebody from right tackle to left tackle, or you could just try new guys at left tackle. Which way do you think they're going, guys?
I don't know, but I would take Drew Richmond from right tackle and move him to left tackle. He's got the most experience in doing that. And then at right tackle, I'd probably have right tackle by committee. Maybe Niehaus, maybe Tatum, maybe Chance Hall would all get a shot at playing right tackle. But I would move Drew Richmond there because I think he's got the most experience of anybody playing left tackle.
Guys,
I would maybe give Nathan Niehaus a shot. I know Tennessee went that direction just for a limited time during the season opener against West Virginia. Just knowing Trey Smith probably was coming back to that game, probably had a big role in that decision at the time. But Niehaus has played relatively well, I thought, in his opportunities so far this season. He's gotten some time at guard recently. Maybe that would complicate it, but I think he's at least got a chance of sticking at left tackle, and that would also disrupt your offensive line the least. Not that group's been playing particularly well overall, but fewer disruptions tends to help offensive lines whenever possible.
And Josh, just bad timing in terms of you get through the rougher part of your schedule. Your head, thanks to the Auburn game, your head is just above water enough to where you can see a bowl bid out there. You've still got a lot of work to do, but if you can nail three victories down, you can get to a bowl game. I think you're going to be in every one of these games. These other rosters aren't 10 times better than you, and now this.
Right. Yeah, so it hits you when you think, okay, we can pick up the pieces. And another reason why there are 2 options that Jimmy and Ryan just gave, and I can give you 1, 2, 3 more options as well of what they could do. Speaking of timing, it comes in the middle of the week. So Tennessee had practiced Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with Trey Smith at left tackle, and then the news comes Thursday. So that's why we don't know exactly, because the media is there Tuesday and Wednesday, and we see Trey Smith there. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a plan in the first quarter, and then depending on how things go, depending on what Chance Hall's involvement is, because he's probably on a snap count, they change some things up within the game.
Reports out there that Marcus Tatum was in there practicing at left tackle. I do think they could go anywhere. My guess is you're probably going to see a lot of rotation until they figure out what they like best. And the fear is you don't want to see a rotation for 60 full minutes. And the way that offensive line has operated this year, that could be a possibility.
Yeah, the one thing they had was Trey Smith at left tackle.
Right. Yeah. Now, let's talk about a couple of key matchups other than the offensive line issue. and that's quarterback. At quarterback, I want to talk about a possible advantage for Tennessee. If we've got the graphic, we can take a look at this. You know, everybody knows the maximum team that makes the fewest mistakes will win. Here are the career numbers for Jarrett Garantano, and here's another question mark. He is expected to be healthy. He's beaten up, but he's healthy. Healthy enough to start. We've heard that before, however, from Jeremy Pruitt, and the guy didn't start in terms of Mike Abernathy. But let's assume Garantano's in there. If not, Keller Christ, and maybe they're rotating these guys throughout the game. Who knows what happens after Keller Christ's good performance in the second quarter last week against Alabama. You see their career numbers there compared to Jake Bentley at South Carolina, and the thing that stands out, obviously in 3 years, Bentley has thrown the football a whole lot. You see how much Christ threw it in 4 years, 3 of those at Stanford, not a lot of throws. But touchdowns, okay, Bentley's clearly got the advantage, but look at the interceptions. Garantano throws a pick once every 68 plays, Christ once every 52, Bentley once every 32. The last 2 seasons, he's played in 18 games, he's thrown 19 picks. Gentlemen, I think this could be a key for Tennessee, is Bentley taking care of the football.
I think it could be because it's something Tennessee needs to be a key. It's something that Tennessee has been emphasizing in practice all season long.
That's how you wanted Auburn.
Yeah, it is.
Turnovers.
Yeah, Tennessee doesn't come out of Auburn with a win if not for forcing those turnovers. Jared Stidham made mistakes. You knew going in he could do that. You know that Jake Bentley could as well. Tennessee's going to emphasize that. I think it adds to how impressive Jarrett Garantano has been, by the way, that those numbers are so small considering the pressure he's faced, because he's taken hits while getting rid of the football this year and still taking care of it. They need that to happen tonight.
Well, in the pass rush, you would think that might be one reason Bentley has thrown as many interceptions as he has. But I don't know if Tennessee can get the heat on him. They did against Auburn, but it's been very inconsistent. It's almost like some of them are missing in action in some games versus others. But I think a whole key, or one of the big keys for Tennessee is getting to Bentley, forcing him in to mistakes, making him uncomfortable.
Yeah, you really had Darrell Taylor, who showed up by his lonesome down at Georgia in terms of pass rush, and then against Auburn, everybody was getting in on the act. Not so much against Alabama. Ryan, thoughts on the quarterback matchup?
Yeah, I agree with Jimmy. It's a lot about pressure, and can Tennessee get to the quarterback? That defensive line played really well against Auburn. Can they win that matchup with South Carolina up front? Tennessee's secondary actually has taken advantage of some opportunities. Like we said, they forced some turnovers this year. They're better in that area than they were a year ago. Got to be good in this game, and it starts with getting pressure on Bentley. But not only has Bentley thrown a lot of interceptions over his career, he's thrown 7 in 4 SEC games this year. That's a good number if you're Tennessee. I actually like that matchup for Tennessee in this game.
I think 3 of those have come in the end zone as well. So TD to pick very quickly.
Now the flip side to that is he's aggressive, but he also makes plays when he does that. So he's a gunslinger, makes mistakes, but he also has a tendency to make some big plays when it counts. So we'll see if Tennessee can avoid those too.
Yeah, the 37 touchdowns you'd like. It's the 23 interceptions on his career that's kind of the other side of that. The ratio isn't spectacular. Let's talk about one other way that possibly Tennessee forces Jake Bentley to throw the ball, and that is they put him in a lot of 3rd and long situations. The run game is going to be an interesting battle tonight, because let's take a look at this. Neither team is particularly good at running the football, and neither team is particularly good at stopping the run. Tennessee's rush offense, now this is against Power 5 opponents only. Tennessee ranks 14th in the SEC. 2.4 yards per carry, and that's with Trey Smith. Now you take him out. South Carolina's defense, though, 12th in the SEC. They're terrible. South Carolina's rush offense, 11th in the SEC at a whopping 3.9 per carry, and Tennessee's rush defense at 10th in the SEC. You could make a good case. We're talking about a lot of different stuff here, but you can make a good case the team that runs the ball the best tonight going to win the game.
You can make that case, and also with Will Muschamp, who's not lost to Tennessee 6-0. Every one of those wins have come when his teams have outrushed Tennessee. So that's a stat to look for.
I could see this being a game, though, where neither team runs the ball very well, and it comes down to which quarterbacks play the best, whether that's Garantano / Chris for Tennessee or Bentley for South Carolina. But, yeah, I think it's a big thing. This game's kind of what's going to give. Neither one of these teams has played all that well on either side of the ball. Both teams really need to win. It's kind of which team can kind of break some of their recent trends and play a little bit better. Tennessee maybe not so much coming off a loss just to Alabama, like everybody that plays Alabama. But, yeah, still South Carolina's had a frustrating year. Can they break some of those habits they've had this season?
Yeah, and that's why the word you used, interesting, it could be that, because none of those numbers really look
ugly
like
is another word.
I can't wait to see how these guys do running the football tonight or trying to stop it. But I also think it's of note, because you're talking about 2 head coaches, Will Muschamp at South Carolina and Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee, who I think have similar ideas of what they want to go right for their teams. And that's on both sides of the football. You, of course, think about the the coaching tree of Nick Saban and their connections there. But I think the way that these two coaches prepare their football teams, they both will emphasize running the football. It's just a matter of can either get it done. Of course, on the defensive side, they're going to emphasize stopping it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. When we come back, Tyler Wyatt, professional handicapper here in East Tennessee, is going to be joining us. And we're going to talk about 3 more matchups, or maybe it'll be a spinoff of what we just talked about. 3 matchups in terms of over-unders about tonight's game that could make the difference. A little later, we're going to tell you Tennessee will win if, and we fill in the blank. Come on back on the Sports Source Kickoff.
Did you know English Mountain Spring Water has been named the world's best tasting water? That a French competition declared it a gourmet water? Did you know English Mountain Spring Water is bottled in Dandridge? And it's available for commercial and residential water service across East Tennessee. Clear, pure water with no aftertaste. From an East Tennessee source and a local company providing unmatched service. English Mountain Spring Water.
The Lodge at Five Oaks, conveniently located within walking distance to some of the area's best attractions, restaurants, and shops. Call now for special rates throughout the week or visit thelodge@fiveoaks.com to plan your next getaway today.
Since 1971, Southeast Termite and Pest Control has offered free inspections, multiple pest control options, and guaranteed termite prevention and correction. Times have changed. Our service hasn't. Southeast Termite and Pest Control.
Under Tennessee law, you're entitled to money damages for injuries caused by the negligence of others. How much money often depends on the diligence, skill, and experience of your attorney. A Knoxville law firm has been helping injured people for more than 30 years.
At Bill Hodson Associates, we've collected millions of dollars from insurance companies that didn't want to treat injured people fairly. Is your case worth more than the insurance company says? Call Bill Hodson Associates and find out.
When it comes to your business, no one provides better security and life safety systems than Safety Systems. Protect your employees, your products, and your records with a single phone call. Professional technicians ready to design, install, and monitor your cutting-edge fire and security systems. Electric locks and surveillance cameras. Emergency and after-hours response and repairs. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and life safety systems.
Just 60 miles from Knoxville, adventure meets sanctuary at the historic Topoco Lodge. Originally opened in 1930, this renovated, reborn mountain retreat offers cozy, well-appointed rooms, cabins, and suites, waterfront dining, our warm signature service, and plenty of outdoor sports and activities, all within our riverside, creekside, and forest setting. Experience the historic Topoco Lodge, where adventure meets sanctuary.
Parkside Cabin Rentals, affordable, rustic luxury in the Smokies. Hot tubs, pool tables, fireplaces inside and out. Our cabins are perfect for relaxing or entertaining. Visit ParksideCabinRentals.com. Plan your vacation today.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff. This segment brought to you by English Mountain Spring Water. I'm telling you folks, 2,500 feet below the earth is a aquifer, and up from that aquifer come 2.5 million gallons of pristine, delicious water every single day. And right next to that spring is their bottling facility, and I've been through it. It is impressive, very impressive. That's why they have a lot of different water companies across the country that buy their water and ask them to bottle it for them. If you're ever in Vegas at the Tao nightclub, you can buy English Mountain Spring Water. You just ask for Bling H2O. It'll cost you $90, but it's English Mountain Spring Water. Go check out their website. You can get that here in East Tennessee. It's from East Tennessee in Dandridge. You can get it at your office. You can get it delivered to your home. It's great stuff and a great company, good people to deal with. English Mountain Spring Water. Taste it for yourself. All right, Tyler Wyatt is with us, professional handicapper over there at the 3forthemoney.win big board, and visit his website, which is 3forthemoney.win, of course, and he will provide you with picks, not only football, basketball, baseball, all of it. Your World Series picks, I guess, are big right now.
Absolutely. Killed in the World Series, killed Major League Baseball playoffs, NFL heavy, but right now we're focused on college football.
Yeah, and people all across the country buy their picks from this guy. I always ask you to come up with 3 quick over-unders for us, and we are going to have to be a little quick in this segment. First one I see over there is 149.5.
Rushing yards for the Volunteers. Last 3 games have been spooky. Halloween. It's been bad for Tennessee. Tennessee 149.5. It's a South Carolina Gamecocks defense that's just not been very good at stopping the run. You alluded to both teams struggling there. 149.5 rushing for the Vols.
Under. They've not had success this year very much, and then you take Trey Smith out of there. I'm going to be safe and just say under for Tennessee.
I would agree. I think they've only hit that number in 1 or 2 games this year. I don't like their chances of hitting that without Trey Smith, so I think Tennessee goes under in that one, maybe even by a decent margin.
I'm going to go under too, and another factor in that is that without Trey Smith, and they've got DJ Wanham back at defensive end. I think you're going to have some sacks in there too. So
That's right.
I'm going to go under also.
Yeah, I will as well. I think you got to hit at least a couple of big runs, and that's difficult to predict in this offense. So I'll say under as well.
All right, we're all going under. Are we right or wrong, Tyler?
You're right. We're going superfecta. Unfortunately, with Trey Smith in the game, I would maybe like this to go over. I think it's going to be a long day, unfortunately.
All right, next one over there is 134.5.
We talked about the struggles rushing for both teams. 134.5 rushing yards for South Carolina. It's a team that has struggled very similar to Tennessee. 134.5 is rushing yards for South Carolina.
They had a great game against Vanderbilt and then really haven't done much since then. I'll let one of you guys start and then I'll copy you.
I'll go under. I don't think the run game is that good. I think one of the things Tennessee's actually done a pretty good job of, with rare exceptions, I think their run defense is pretty good. I think their defensive line's been pretty good. So I'm going to go under.
Better in reality than it looks in statistics, you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would also say under, maybe slightly. I think South Carolina probably hits 100 in this game, but I don't think they quite hit that number right there. So I think Tennessee, again, like Jimmy said, slightly better run defense than people might think.
I'll break the trend. I'm going to go slightly over. I think somewhere in the 140 to 150 range.
Okay. Which leaves me to decide. I'm going to go under as well. You're on your lonesome. Unless Tyler Wyatt goes with you. What are you doing?
He's by himself. We're going under here. It's going to be an ugly game. You mentioned 270 yards, South Carolina against Vanderbilt. That was a misnomer. They're averaging 110 their last 3 games. I think they stay around that number, which would be 20 or so yards under there.
Okay, and the last over-under is 1.5.
Giveaways for South Carolina. You mentioned Bentley being a turnover machine. The rest of the team also likes to give the other team the football. Almost 1 turnover per game as a fumble. Bentley likes to give it to the other team. Ryan mentioned 7 interceptions in 4 SEC games. We're going 1.5. We don't like a tie, but they're averaging almost 2 per game. Will they take better care of the football tonight?
This could be a deciding factor in the football game. If we think Tennessee's going over 2 turnovers or 2 takeaways, then you might like the Vols' chances. So we'll see what we say in the next segment. But Jimmy, you didn't go first this segment. You didn't either. I jumped in. So who wants to go?
No, my negativity was saved for the last one. I'll start out. I'll say over. I think Tennessee takes the ball away at least twice.
I'll go under.
Under.
I'll go over. I think Tennessee gets 2. I don't think it's a turnover fest, but I think they get a couple.
I'll go under. I think he's good for about 1 a game. I think that's what he'll give you this week. I'll go 1, so that's under.
We're going up. Trey Smith spoke to the team. He's a tough guy. I think the team will come out. They'll fight. You can count on Bentley to give you 1. I think Ryan is right. I think they end up with 2. I think a strip sack or a forced fumble, but I like it to go over.
So it's the win for the Gipper theory.
For the Gipper.
Win for the Gipper. All right, very good. All right, when we come back, we're going to discuss what it's going to take for Tennessee to win. Plus, Tyler will give you his prediction of what happens against the spread. We'll all make our picks on this game. That's next on the Sports Source Kickoff. Come on back.
Southeast Termite and Pest Control can help protect your home from animals, trapping and relocating wildlife, fixing the damage they cause, and preventing them from invading your home in the first place. Call Southeast Termite and Pest Control and ask about our many services.
The Lodge at 5 Oaks, conveniently located within walking distance to some of the area's best attractions, restaurants, and shops. Call now for special rates throughout the week or visit thelodge@5oaks.com to plan your next getaway today.
Just 60 miles from Knoxville, adventure meets sanctuary at the historic Topoco Lodge, featuring the Topoco Tavern with comfortable seating inside or riverside for lunch and dinner, expanded patio dining, private rooms for events, drinks on the observation deck, and at our multiple bars. Try the Carolina Mountain Trout, a Black Angus choice ribeye, or build your own hand-tossed pizza. Experience the Topoco Tavern at the historic Topoco Lodge.
When it comes to your home, No one provides better security and audio-video systems than Safety Systems. Control everything using your tablet or smartphone, whether it's a hidden TV or the temperature in your home. Lighting, doors that open and close, lock and unlock, cameras that allow you to watch your home from wherever you may be, all at the touch of a button. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and audio-video systems.
Under Tennessee law, you're entitled to money damages for injuries caused by the negligence of others. How much money often depends on the diligence, skill, and experience of your attorney. A Knoxville law firm has been helping injured people for more than 30 years.
At Bill Hudson Associates, we've collected millions of dollars from insurance companies that didn't want to treat people fairly. Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Are you being treated fairly? Call us and find out.
Experience you can trust.
Did you know English Mountain Spring Water has been named the world's best tasting water? That a French competition declared it a gourmet water? Did you know English Mountain Spring Water is bottled in Dandridge? And it's available for commercial and residential water service across East Tennessee. Clear, pure water with no aftertaste. From an East Tennessee source and a local company providing unmatched service. English Mountain Spring Water.
Southeast Termite and Pest Control is locally owned, locally operated, handling thousands of commercial and residential jobs all across East Tennessee. Protect your home with a free inspection and estimate from Southeast Termite and Pest Control.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff. This segment brought to you by Bill Hodson Associates. Car accidents are serious business, folks. If you are injured in an accident by a careless driver, you need serious proven attorneys to help you recoup the wages you might lose from time out of work, money spent on medical bills, etc. Call the team that I would call if I was in that situation. That's Bill Hodson Associates. And I'd call them because they've been doing this for more than 30 years. Bill Hodson Associates. I want to remind you that tomorrow at 11 a.m. over on WATE 6, we'll be there to break down what happens tonight. It's the Sports Source. We'll have a gang of 1,000, a bunch of VFLs, a bunch of us media types, and one way or the other, we'll make it an entertaining show for you as we break down Tennessee versus South Carolina. That's the review. Let's get into the preview, and I'm going to start with Tyler Wyatt over there. Tyler, people pay you for your picks, but it's so close to kickoff, you know, it's only a few hours away. I'm going to ask you to give us a freebie. What's the line? What do you think it's done this week in terms of how it's moved? What do you do in terms of putting a little money on this thing?
Number opened at 7.5. We saw it hit 9 on Friday. 8.5 is the number we're seeing today. Total in the game 54.5. Jarrett Garantano may need Bill Hodson Associates because it's going to be an ugly day. But we're leaning Tennessee because the number 8.5 is a beautiful number. I do think it's a tough game. Would not surprise me at all if this comes down to who has the football last. See a one possession type of game. 8.5 is key here. We're taking Tennessee plus the points. Total, not really messing. Don't like either side of 54, but do expect Tennessee to keep this close for the Gipper, and they keep it under the 8.5. So we're back in Tennessee plus the 8.5.
All right, very good. Now we always do a little game where we say Tennessee will win if. Some games, like Alabama, it's a little more ridiculous than others. Tonight, I think Tennessee has a good chance to win. So, well, they have a chance to win. We'll talk about Tennessee will win if, and I will start. I think a lot of it's going to come down to turnovers, obviously. We talked about that. Bentley has a tendency to give you the football. I do think that, you know, you look back at the Auburn game, that's how Tennessee won that one. I think they're going to need some turnovers tonight. But the other thing is, I think chunk plays, and we've got a graphic here. Big plays, this team is not an offense that grinds it out. We talked about how badly the run game has worked. Tennessee's offense on the year against Power 5 opponents, they have 24 plays of 20 yards or more. South Carolina's defense has allowed 20. South Carolina's offense only has 21 of those type plays. Tennessee's defense has allowed 29. So even that is kind of close, kind of a tight matchup. I think if Tennessee can come out of there with some big plays, meaning Callaway, Jennings, Chandler, who you need to get involved early and often, if they get the turnovers, if they get a couple of chunk plays more than South Carolina, I think they can win this game. That's the Tennessee will win if chunk plays and turnovers. Who wants to go next?
I'll say it kind of goes with what you're talking about there. I think Tennessee's secondary needs to play well. If pressure is going to be difficult for Tennessee in the front seven, if Tennessee's going to have a difficult time getting after Bentley, he has some receivers who can make plays. They've had issues with drops. If they don't tonight, Samuel and Edwards are guys that can make plays. Still have some young secondary members out there. Mike Abernathy, who's been out, so some questions there at safety. those guys need to be ready to not give up big plays against South Carolina.
I'm going to go with two things. One is first down production. If Tennessee doesn't do better on first down, they're going to face a lot of third and longs, and South Carolina is one of the best in the nation at third down defense. They give up less than 25% conversion on third down defense. And the other one's going to be if Jarrett Garantano plays every snap. If he plays every snap, I think that means he's playing well. So that would be my other one.
All right. What do you got, Ryan? Tennessee will win if?
I'm going to follow along with what you went. I think it's all about the passing game, finding ways to make plays down the field and in general in the passing game. This team has struggled to produce offense in general against Will Muschamp teams. That's why he's 6-0 against Tennessee, or one of the big reasons. These have been close games also in recent years. It's been a one-possession game pretty much 6 years in a row. So I expect this to be a fourth quarter game, but it's going to come down to whether Tennessee can make something happen in the passing game and get Ty Chandler involved, as you said. Even if they don't run the ball, do what you did last week. Get it to him in the passing game. Throw some swing passes. Get him in there. If he gets 100 yards total in this game, I like Tennessee's chances.
He's able to run a variety of patterns too, which has impressed me. I mean, they've had him down the middle. They've had him down the sidelines. They've done the flare passes, swing passes. They use him a lot of different ways, which I think is positive.
He needs to get at least 20 touches.
Yeah.
He has. He really has. Let me ask you this: the Muschamp factor. You mentioned it. You mentioned it. He never lost to Tennessee in terms of his coaching career. Is that any kind of factor, real factor in tonight's game? I mean, do you think this is like the Spurrier used to have Tennessee's number? Saban has Tennessee's number, although that's talent. But does Muschamp have their number, or is that just kind of a gimmicky thing? Is it more about when you're the coach?
I think fans put a lot of stock into it. I don't think it matters much anymore because it's a first-year coach for Tennessee. When it was Butch Jones, we lost all 4 times to a Muschamp. Maybe you put something into it then because it's a certain offense. But now Jeremy Pruitt, we don't know what his track record against Will Muschamp is going to be, so maybe a fresh start changes things for Tennessee.
One thing about Muschamp, if you look at his record, he's got a pretty good record in close games, one-possession games. So I don't necessarily know that it's having Tennessee's number, but if it's close, the odds are in Muschamp's favor of finding a way to pull it out.
I've never thought he was the rube that he was made out to be at Florida. He had the 4-8 year when they just were decimated by injuries, but the man had an 11-win season down there. It wasn't good enough for Florida, and the fans never forgave him that it wasn't an exciting 11-win season. They didn't put up a lot of points offensively, but I think this is a pretty good coach. But I still don't know that he's got Tennessee's number. My opinion is he's got that record because of when he arrived against Tennessee. Tennessee's not exactly been at their heights.
Yeah, I think he benefited from the timing. I do think he was pretty good at preparing for what Tennessee's offense was with Butch Jones and the style quarterback Tennessee would have a lot of times. And I also think in this game it's more about South Carolina will have had 2 weeks to get ready for tonight's game. So the amount of time to prepare, the confidence he probably brings to his team, that'll help too.
Jeremy Banks play much of a role tonight. They've moved him to linebacker, inside linebacker, which he seems like a guy that would be perfectly fit to be an inside linebacker. And he actually went to the coaches and said, move me. Do you think you'll see much of him tonight?
I don't think we'll see much of him, but it was interesting that Pruitt said that he could play against South Carolina. But from what I was told, he's been tremendous in practice. He's knocking the heck out of people, and he's very quick to the ball. He is instinctive. Pruitt said this is a pretty simple defense. I could see him playing maybe in some goal line situations, something like that. I don't see him out there on many 1st and 10s, but I think maybe in some short yardage he might.
I would agree with that. A limited package of some sort. Maybe it is goal line, but yeah, he brings something to this defense. They haven't had an inside linebacker. Their inside linebackers haven't played that well, but it's still, I think Jeremy Pruitt saying it's a simple defense is probably overstating it. Inside linebacker is a little complicated no matter what defense you're in, especially in a 3-4
system. If there's a play with a simple call, hey, go get the football.
Yeah.
If they need it, maybe Jeremy Banks can go get it.
Quickly, who you got, Tennessee or South Carolina?
South Carolina.
By how much?
South Carolina by 10.
10, okay.
Ooh, South Carolina by 1.
Ooh, okay.
I'm with Tyler's pick. Tennessee covers but loses. I've got South Carolina by 7.
Okay. I think South Carolina by 6, 7 sounds about right. I don't think it's going to be like I don't necessarily think it's going to be last possession. I think they may have a lead and then Tennessee gets one late, to be honest with you. I don't think Tennessee's going to win this game, but we'll see. And tomorrow morning we'll talk about it, whether they do or they don't. So join us at 11 a.m. over on WATE6. We want to say thank you to all these guys, Tyler Wyatt included, for being with you. Thank you for watching, and thanks to Parkside Cabin Rentals, bringing you this show every single week. See you next Saturday right back here on Fox 43.
This has been a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.